Hey everybody, this is John and welcome to the free video. I want to show you a couple of things real quick. I'm looking at the daily chart over here with the 100 and 200 period moving averages as well as the Bollinger Bands over here, the monthly chart. On TLT, we do have a monthly reversal buy signal. If you guys recall in my big picture outlook a couple of weeks ago, I was looking for bonds to explode higher. You can see here that not only have they turned higher here, but the squeeze which fired short is reversed. This creates kind of a boomerang, and we could see further upside gains. Also, if it's something where a couple of people I've talked to are like, God, I'm really tired of the whipsaws here, there are plenty of markets out there right now that do not have whipsaws. Namely, currencies right now are trending really well. Dollar primarily amongst them. Keep in mind that a strong dollar is not good for the markets. But if you go along and look at various currencies here, Aussie dollar, etc., while the US dollar is trending higher, Aussie dollar is trending lower, okay? Euro dollar trending lower. And of course, this could be traded via FXE by just buying put options. You could buy out of the money here if they're further out, but I do think that especially if the US dollar really starts taking after that squeeze that's setting up, we can retest those lows right there. What about the gold market? Gold market right here, I'm actually starting to buy bullion again, but from a trading perspective, I'm not a huge fan. However, believe it or not, I love the monthly squeeze here that is setting up on Tesla. It doesn't mean that I love Tesla as a company. I think their cars are great. I just think that this is something where the last time this set up, we got this massive short squeeze. Tesla exploded higher. Now we've got another monthly squeeze set up, and if we look at this as kind of a measured move, that takes us up to 465. So we have some pretty low risk trades set up as butterflies right now to take advantage of that move. All right, so plenty of stuff to go there. And then the other thing too is keeping in mind is that the SPX right now, a lot of times traders, especially smaller traders, if you've got a less than a $25,000 account, there actually are ways to day trade the SPX. Okay, that's one of the things that's tough, is that if you've got less than $25,000 to trade options, you always get across that day trading rule, but there is a way around it. We can look at that in just a moment. Last but not least, if we're going to look here at the spiders, if we're looking at the daily chart and the monthly chart, keep in mind on the monthly chart, even though the daily chart here looks pretty ugly and pretty tired, right now all we've done is come down to the 21 period moving average on the monthly chart. This is in fact much less. This is less of a decline than we had in February. The question is are we going to be able to muster the numbers here to get something going? Because right now we're just pinging back and forth between those upper and lower Bollinger Bands. All right, so that's what we got there. Let's take a quick look at this. All right, one quick thing here. This has been one of the more interesting classes we've done in a while. For those of you that don't know Allison, she has been working with us for about the last year and a half or so, and came on with a really unique kind of point of view on the markets. She'll tell you all about it, but essentially what I was intrigued by is that she has figured out a couple things in terms of a hack for getting around the day trading rule. All right, so if you've got a less than 25K account, a hack for getting around that. So that was something that was new. And then she does this thing that's just called profit recycling, which is a concept that honestly I'd never heard of before. And it was funny because she came in and she had heard about us, lived in Austin, and then just kind of literally just kind of knocked on the door and said, hey, could I come work for you guys? And Mandy had interviewed her and said, you should talk to her and just kind of see. And I was like, oh, okay, what, you were looking for like some customer service stuff? And she's like, well, I actually have been trading for a long time. I was like, yeah, okay. So I sat down and said, look, what are the things that you trade? And she started going into this fairly complex strategy on SPX options that I had to pause and say, look, can you explain that to me again? And she said, of course. And she went through and explained it in a way where you could actually sit there and trade. It's, essentially recycle your profits and actually set up trades in such a way that if if it doesn't work out, your like minimum gain is like $50. So anyway, it was all these concepts that I really had never been taught or thought about because I was trained in the beginning for such a directional trader, and she was trained in the beginning to be purely focused on extracting income from the markets. And so this class that she's going to be doing this upcoming Saturday has got a couple of interesting things. How she turned a potential loss into a $533 profit. This is really her forte. And she's got a tool that she created that helps her time these trades precisely. And this tool is included in the price of the class. How to day trade options with less than 25K. How to engineer exponential gains by recycling risk. A wonderful concept that, again, until I met her, I had never even thought about or understood. Avoid blowing out accounts with Allison's 25% rule, and how it's possible to almost guarantee profits. And I hate using the word guarantee. Like, to our marketing department, I tell them, you never put that in there. You know, we are laying things out as straightforward as possible and just don't use that word. But in this case, I went through and I was like, well, that's pretty damn close to a guarantee as I've ever seen. All right. So the two classes she's going to be doing a strategy class this Saturday. Keep in mind that this is a 4-hour class. If you are unavailable this weekend, it will be recorded. But as a bonus, you will get the actual tool that she created to utilize to time this stuff. All right, it's a fascinating tool. And then if you like the live trading, which I recommend because it's one of those things where typically during the live trading class, you kind of end up making enough to actually pay for the class anyway, but then you also get that hands-on experience that's critical. Like if you want to play golf and learn to play golf and you just read a book, when you show up at the golf course on Monday, you're not going to do that well. But if you read the book and then you have a couple of lessons with a pro so you can actually get those mechanical things going and that muscle memory, that's how you start to learn how to golf correctly. It's the same in trading. In a situation with a live environment like this, you get to watch the trader trade, mimic their trades, and ask questions. So we'll be doing, she'll be doing 2 live trading sessions, and in addition, I'm going to do a 2-hour session that is just on money management. This is one of the most common questions that I get. I'll also do some live trades, but we'll be focusing on a money management session as well. All right, so that's what we got. If you go to simplertrading.com/recycle, it'll bring you to this page, and you can get set up for this and take this newfound knowledge into the markets as you go into the next week, which is especially good for monthly expiration. One last thought on this as well is that if you are unsure but it's intriguing, I always say, look, just do the strategy class. Then from there you can decide if you would like to add this on. That's an easy thing to do. Also, it will be recorded. And finally, if you're thinking like, gosh, I'd really like to see it, I just won't be around a computer, you can also watch it from your iPad or iPhone, smartphone in real time. All right, have a good one. See you guys in the room tomorrow. And may you recycle your profits wisely.